Everywhere you look online, someone is hyping a new tool that claims to turn your long-form video content into viral shorts instantly. It feels like new AI editors are popping up every single day, promising to do all the heavy lifting for your content strategy. You have probably seen names like Opus Clip, Descript, and a dozen other AI-driven tools flooding your feeds. I have been testing Vizard for about 3 months now to see if it actually delivers on those big promises. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly whether this tool is easy to use and if the clips it spits out actually get traction. I want to be completely honest and practical about what works, what fails, and how this fits into a real weekly workflow. First off, let us break down the user experience because it really couldn't be any simpler. I start by finding the long-form video or podcast episode I want to repurpose for my social channels. I just copy the URL, paste it into the software, pick the desired clip length, and hit that generate button. While the process runs in the background, the AI analyzes the entire timeline for audio peaks, audience hooks, and key moments. After a few minutes of waiting, it returns a batch of suggested short-form clips ready for me to review. It even ranks these clips by a predicted performance score so I can prioritize which ones might actually perform better. Now, let us get real about quality. Are these suggested clips actually usable straight out of the box? The honest answer is that not all of them are perfect, but a solid portion is definitely worth publishing after a light tweak. For a typical 20 to 30-minute episode, you can expect the tool to return around 8 to 12 clip suggestions. From that batch, I usually find about 3 to 6 that I would be happy to put on my channel without major edits. That puts the usable clip rate in the 30 to 50% range, which I think is pretty decent for automated work. If you feed it longer episodes, like a full hour-long podcast, you might get 20 suggestions, and half of those could be viable. So while the success rate varies, it is reliable enough to become a core part of your weekly repurposing system. If I had to give it a score for finding usable clips, I would comfortably land on a 7 out of 10. It is not perfect, and it sometimes picks moments that are too context-heavy or clips that end way too abruptly. However, it gets the big, important stuff right more often than not, and the algorithm seems to be learning fast. Now, let us move on to editing and fine-tuning, which is exactly where this tool really starts to shine. Click into any suggested clip, and you can instantly tweak the start and end points with word-level precision. You can remove awkward pauses or fluff in the middle, and the caption reflow handles everything else automatically. The word removal feature is decent, though it can feel a little jumpy if you try to cut out a massive chunk. For small quick fixes, it works perfectly and gets the job done without any headache. The caption styling options are also quite extensive, allowing you to move subtitles to the top, middle, or bottom. You can change fonts, sizes, and colors, or even choose between single-line and multi-line layouts. You can also select different overlay templates, depending on whether you want a clean look or something much flashier. Making these small adjustments is quick and painless, easily earning a 9 out of 10 for editing ease. It is one of the main reasons I keep this tool in my professional toolkit for everyday production. There is one specific feature I have to call out, because it is genuinely a total game changer for creators. I am talking about the Smart Reflow layout, which automatically restructures horizontal screen share content into vertical shorts. If you are doing a walkthrough where your face is in the corner and the content is on the screen, this is usually a headache. Normally, you lose either your face or the screen content when you try to force a horizontal video into a vertical frame. This tool solves it by intelligently cropping and layering the content to keep everything visible. It can place your face in a smaller window at the bottom while using the upper portion for your main screen content. You can even resize those windows with a couple of quick drags to make sure your reaction and content are perfectly aligned. It automatically selects the best moments where the screen content is most relevant, keeping the viewer hooked. For anyone who teaches, demos software, or does tutorials, this feature alone is worth trying out. I would give the Screen Share Reflow a 10 out of 10 because it is honestly that good. It has turned hours of content that used to be impossible to repurpose into shorts I actually publish. Now, let us tackle the big question. Do these clips actually go viral? I wish there was a magic button for virality, but it depends on things like hook strength, timing, and niche. On my channel, these generated clips have typically landed in the hundreds of views range right after posting. Most of them fall between 100 to 400 views in that first week, which is pretty standard. I have had a few clips hit about 1.5 thousand, and my highest one peaked at around 2.5 thousand. Occasional spikes definitely happen, but clips do not explode into millions of views just because they were AI cut. If I had to average it, I would rate the raw virality output a 5 out of 10. It creates great candidate clips, but you still need a solid hook and a posting strategy to get the big wins. However, looking at this from a long-term creator perspective, the value is way higher than that 5 out of 10 suggests. Why? Because because it automates a massive chunk of your content production process. Clips that I simply would not have had time to make manually are now getting published consistently every single week. Those hundreds of views add up, and the mid-performing clips act as discovery points that funnel people to my long-form content. In terms of future potential, more views, more subscribers, and more content, I would bump the rating up to an 8 out of 10. It really multiplies your output without needing a proportional increase in the time you spend editing. There are also a few extra features worth calling out, like the built-in auto-scheduling and content calendar. You can set a posting frequency and let the AI schedule everything for you, or pick slots manually in the calendar. This is a massive benefit if you are trying to maintain a steady upload cadence across multiple platforms. Many competing tools focus only on the clipping and leave scheduling to separate apps, which is a major workflow headache. Bringing clipping, scheduling, and a centralized calendar together into one tool is the real productivity win here. But let me be fair about the limitations, because this tool is not perfect for every single creator. If your content is extremely context-heavy, like inside jokes or long-form storytelling, the AI might miss the best micro moments. Also, your audio cleanup might still need a touch of human love if the source file has heavy background noise. And while the scheduling is fantastic, it is not a substitute for having a real marketing plan in place. The AI can post clips for you, but it won't decide which niche to target or which trends to ride. Compared to competitors, some are cheaper for simple clipping, but they lack that robust integrated calendar suite. Others might have excellent editing, but their short-form pipeline is way more manual and can be pricier for teams. This tool sits right in the middle. It is intuitive, handles tricky layouts like a pro, and saves you from juggling 10 apps. So, what is my final verdict after testing it for 3 months? Vizard is now officially a permanent part of my weekly content workflow. It does not magically make everything go viral, but it massively reduces the time required to stay consistent. If you want to scale your repurposing without hiring an expensive editor, it is one of the most practical options out there. If you are curious, just give it a spin and see how it works for your own content. There is usually a free trial or a low-cost starter tier, so you can test it without committing to anything. And if you want to follow up, let me know, and I can walk you through my exact workflow for thumbnails and post strategy. Overall, it is a practical, time-saving tool that helps you consistently put more content out there, because in the end, consistency is what grows channels. And this is a great way to maintain that speed.